now day 25 of the government shutdown, with financial pressure now mounting on federal employees who've been furloughed for more than 3 weeks now. More than 1 million missing their first full paychecks on Friday. This is currently the second longest shutdown in U.S. history and appears nowhere close to ending. The Senate will not be back in session until Monday and will most likely once again reject a Republican funding bill. This measure has failed 12 times now over a dispute about expiring health care subsidies to try and keep insurance costs down. And next month, November 1, more than 1 million Georgians are going to be left without access to food assistance as a result of this. The USDA notified the Georgia Department of Human Services of insufficient funding to cover November SNAP benefits. Good day, Lindsay Tuman, joining us now from the state capitol, where a local advocacy group held a rally demanding the release of state funding for those SNAP benefits. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Caitlin. There's a lot of fear going into this next month for the more than 1 million Georgia families who rely on SNAP benefits. Now, this program is federally funded, but it is run, the administrative costs are run by the state. Now, this group is asking for state leaders to step in to make sure all of these folks don't go hungry next month. In 1 week, the program that helps feed more than 1 million Georgia families could be at risk.
1.4 million Georgians rely on SNAP, right? About 600, a little under 650,000 children are also using SNAP. And so November 1st, those EBT cards that they use or rely on are going to run out or not work.
If the government shutdown continues, the program funds could run dry. SNAP reduces food insecurity by about 30% in Georgia and also gives a boost to the local economy.
It's a life-changing difference, right? It's a difference between going a day, 2 days, a week hungry or not, right? Families rely on these benefits, and without them, they could really be suffering.
The USDA says it cannot use emergency funds for food stamps. And while a bill to fund SNAP through the shutdown was introduced in the House, the clock is ticking. On Friday night, people gathered outside of the state capitol asking Governor Kemp to take action to ensure Georgia families don't go hungry. They want the governor to dip into the state's emergency fund to cover the program costs.
Georgia, we have $14.8 billion in emergency funds. Now's the exact moment where we can use that money to support the people in Georgia, to actually give them their basic needs, food, necessities. It would only take about $748 million to fund the SNAP benefits for all these people.
And there's no word on if any action will be taken from state leaders to make that funding happen. There's also some concern right now about WIC benefits also running out, which is money that helps support pregnant women, infant, and children as well. At this point, there's a lot of resources out there helping families. If you want to look for those, we have them on our website, fox5atlanta.com. Reporting live outside of the state capitol, I'm Lindsay Tuman for Good Day Atlanta.
Thanks so much, Lindsay, for that information. A local mom is talking for the first time days after her 19-year-old daughter was struck and killed while crossing the street in Brookhaven. The impact happened Tuesday at Claremont Road and Dresden Drive in Brookhaven. Now, the victim, Miriuri Lopez, was walking with her boyfriend when police say a driver, 51-year-old Omar Ali, struck them and kept on going. Now, her mom is now pleading for the maximum penalty in the case and tells Fox 5 she still can't accept that her daughter is actually gone.
Le dé la pena máxima. Esa persona no tiene derecho de salir, andar en la calle libremente.
She wants max penalty, that he isn't allowed to be free around in the street.
Quiero a mi hija de vuelta.
I want my daughter back.
And mom Hortensia Lopez went on to say her daughter loved drawing. She wanted to be an artist. There is a GoFundMe account to help with funeral expenses. You can find that information on our website, fox5atlanta.com. Happening today, cyclists from across the metro area are going to be coming together this morning to honor the life of a fellow bike rider who authorities say was struck and killed by a drunk driver. A cycling jersey and a bouquet of flowers now at the site where Carlos Moreno lost his life last weekend. Friends are going to be meeting at the Antioch Christian Church in Canton, where they will make their way down the same road where he was struck and killed. Friends say he was a strong cyclist with a heart just full of kindness.
Always smiling, always very patient. He would help anyone, even if he didn't know the person.
Cherokee County Sheriff's investigators made an arrest in the case. 42-year-old Lane Keys is now facing vehicular homicide, DUI, and reckless driving charges. Now, Moreno was a single dad of 4. Friends have set up an account to try and help his family. We have that link as well for you on our website. Now, looking ahead, the Cartersville man accused of threatening to shoot up Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport is going to be appearing in federal court next Wednesday for a detention hearing. A judge will decide whether or not Billy Cagle should stay in jail as he awaits trial. One attorney we spoke with, who is not connected to the case, says he expects Cagle's mental state to be discussed. An arrest warrant from Clayton County stating that Cagle's wife told investigators he suffers from schizophrenia and was off his medication.
I don't feel that the federal government has a strong case to keep him incarcerated for the entirety of his prosecution. As I understand, with the mental health defense that appears to be at the heart of Mr. Cagle's overall defense, that will allow the defense to argue a release to either a facility or other solution that doesn't consume limited law enforcement resources down at the federal jail.
Cagle faces multiple federal charges, including attempted violence at an international airport. We have reached out to Clayton County to confirm the status of those state charges. We are still waiting to hear back. The future of the expansion of medical marijuana remains up for debate. A blue ribbon panel of state lawmakers has studied the issue all summer long, and that panel held their last public hearing Friday. Fox 5's Kevin Stewart brings us all the details and the developments.
I don't think smoking anything is good for you.
A moment that brought a bit of a chuckle among lawmakers and all here for a still sensitive topic, expanding access to medical marijuana.
You open the door for that inflow of these products to proliferate.
SB 220, as it stands, among other things, would allow medical marijuana, medical cannabis, to be vaped and bring the legal THC level from 5% to 50%.
I have prescribed FDA-approved medications that have THC in them for FDA-approved reasons.
But internal medicine doctor Elizabeth McCord told this blue ribbon panel gathering info for the upcoming legislative session, 50% THC is too much.
Anything over 10% is considered a high-potency cannabis, and we know when you are using high-potency cannabis products that you run the risk of having detrimental medical consequences, psychiatric consequences. And so we have come up, or I am personally recommending a 10% THC cap or lower, because the data is not there for anything higher.
Our hands are being tied.
Dr. Elmore Alexander, who was here to watch all of this, says 50% is not too much. He says doctors like him need flexibility, and that's what SB 220, as it stands, would bring.
A lot of patients can't metabolize cannabis at the same level. So to go to a 2.5 milligram dose, it's not going to hit for a lot of people. Ones that are the worst as far as their illness, who are suffering the most, they're getting the least amount of care.
Without a ton of independent studies, anecdotal testimony from people who have been treated and from doctors who have treated them has been helpful, so says committee chair Representative Dr. Mark Newton. He expects these hearings to provide the chance to craft good legislation that can pass this time around.
How can we do this? How can we go far enough to where we can compassionately take care of those who need it?
Kevin Stewart, Fox 5 News.
And this was the last of 4 public hearings. The next legislative session is in January, and that is when the process of working on this bill officially starts once again. We'll keep you updated as it progresses. Well, happening today, the One Music Festival is back and taking over Piedmont Park for the weekend. More than 100,000 people are expected to come out, listen to Mary J. Blige, Ludacris, so many more as they take the stage. A recent report found that the festival has a $61 million impact on our city. Wow, a big change for a festival that started in a parking lot with 2,500 people back in the day. Organizers say to ride share or take MARTA because parking is going to be pretty limited. Satisfaction, though, will be unmatched.
It's not your everyday generic bubblegum festival. I think it, again, as I said earlier, it's all aspects of our culture that we love, that we enjoy in one space. I mean, be it from your foods, from your attractions. It really truly is a melting pot and a culmination of all things that makes Black culture incredible.
If you want to come out, enjoy the music, there are some tickets still available. We have more information on how you can buy them on our website, fox5atlanta.com.